How much do you trust or distrust authority figure? Okay, what is exactly authority figure? Uh, Authority figure means like the people who is actually kind of like holding some certain position, that they are responsible for something really good happen to us. Like example, that a prime minister, okay, is a prime minister is a responsible of growth of our nation, ultimately everything. Okay, yeah, do you understand? Question is that, do you trust him or not? Like, do you have trust to this person, or like you completely distrust about this person? What are your thought? Well, I'm not going to pointing out about only the prime minister of Narendra Modi. No, it's not. It's like basically this thing that ki prime minister is a kind of like a something really a very 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 specific person that kind of like a fit into this question. Okay, yeah. So I wanted to go through it. All right, yeah. So authority figure at this moment is a Pradhan Mantri, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Okay, is he trustworthy or not? Do you trust him or not for kind of like a growth of our nation, or kind of like something really good for our nation? Uh, First of all, is that the personal growth is actually depend on myself, on ourself. Okay, I shouldn't supposed to be rely on someone that ki my life should supposed to be get better because of this authority figure. And no, I'm not that kind of like a person. I believe that ki whatever the effort that I have to do to make my life better, I have to do it by my own. I shouldn't supposed to be rely on someone else to. No, it's not. Okay, yeah. But this is my growth, my personal growth. What about your nation growth? Yeah. Like, do you responsible for your nation growth? No, I am not, because I am not that authority figure. All right. So who is that person? The prime minister. So does the prime minister is a kind of like a something responsible for became better for this nation? Yes, he is. Do you trust him? I am, I think, somewhat sure, somewhat not sure. 50-50. What do you mean by that? So, first of all, is that the country is not run by the prime minister. No, prime minister take the decision, but whatever the decision that he wants to take, he like the person who kind of like a handling the every scenario or every possible outcome what will be happen. Example, that ki if the prime minister Narendra Modi decided that ki since now electricity will be free. Okay, it is kind of like a something very huge commitment, but does he kind of like a do that commitment? Like, basically, is it possible, or what kind of like a something consequences happen after that? So basically what I'm trying to tell you is this thing. Yeah, prime minister took the decision, but before they took the decision, prime minister is not the only one. Like basically, like there are almost like bunch of staff and team member and the entire government with him to tell that is it possible or not, or if it is possible then what would be the consequences, stuff like that. Okay, if it is kind of like a something possible, then it should supposed to be implement. If the consequences is really good, and it will not kind of like a something really problem in the future, then it will be proceed further. Okay, example, a real life example. In 2019, maybe 2019 or 2018 Notebandi, I'm not really sure what is that, when this happened. Notebandi is actually happened in 2017. Yeah, 2017 Notebandi was happened. What's the Notebandi? So government took the decision, obviously the prime minister took the decision that कि now on the the 500 rupees note and 1000 rupees note are not valid. Okay, you shouldn't supposed to be spend that money, and if you have that money, then probably you have 2 days to save that money to the bank. Yeah, and basically within that night they introduced a new currency, a 200 sorry 2000 sorry 2000 rupees note which is actually introduced, and 500 rupees new note which is introduced. Yeah, because of this notebandi happened, lot of fucked up thing happened. Lot of like basically entire the business structure, entire everything, like basically like import export and kind of like a small business, it impact a lot. Because if you can't spend a 500 or like 1,000 rupees of note, how do you supposed to like do business? It's kind of like a something really impossible. You have to do business with kind of like a something really small load, like a 100 rupees, 50 rupees, 20 rupees, which is kind of like a something really okay if you have a kind of like a small business, or if your transaction is kind of like a little less okay. But what if you have to transact almost like a 50,000 rupees? Would you kind of like a something really give or receive 100 note of 50,000 rupees? It will take almost like an entire 10 kilo of bag of 100 note. And as also, how would you get 100 rupees note, which is like impossible. So like basically if you have transaction of more than 20,000, it is kind of like a impossible, because every year it's a kind of like a something like crisis. No one has that kind of like a something like money. Yeah, money is, but everyone wants like basically 500 and 1,000 rupees is not is useless. So obviously everyone wants to be kind of like a 100 rupees note for daily purpose, right? So this is kind of like a something really a decision that prime minister took. Why does he took like why does he took that decision? Because of that, in 2017 or before 2017, there is a kind of like a fake currency was circulate in our country. Okay, fake currency. Then a black money. What's a black money? A black money who is kind of like a some certain money which is doesn't really have any proof of existence. What do you mean by that, proof of existence? Okay, so let me tell you one thing. So if I buy some certain thing from the store, okay, like basically a watch or like a just shoes. I wanted to buy a shoes. I went to the store. I buy some sort of shoes. I gave them a cash. Okay, the shoes cost me almost like 1,000 rupees. So I gave them 1,000 rupees in cash. Okay, so he gave a kind of like a receipt to us like this is the kind of like a receipt which is kind of like a something really a proof of that money that I gave that money to that particular shopkeeper, 1,000 rupees, has a existence. Like basically it kind of like a something really noted somewhere that this money is actually spent on this product. So this is called kind of like a something really existence happen. Okay, yeah, like this receipt is kind of like a something really existence of that money. Okay, if that receipt is not available, then that money was like doesn't really have existence. Example, like same example, that I went to buy that shop. I wanted to buy these shoes. It cost me 1,000 rupees. He didn't really give me a receipt. I didn't really ask the receipt. So basically this money doesn't really have any kind of like a something like existence. It's something that key it's something that key like that money doesn't really have an existence. Like how this money shopkeeper get, like is it kind of like a something, it doesn't really have like basically what I'm trying to tell you is this thing. Like how does government knows that the value of this product is 1,000 rupees or 500 rupees? Because government didn't really kind of like a came to you and say that oh this is kind of like 1,000 rupees shoes and you gave them 1,000 rupees, oh that is okay. No, it's not okay. The government see the receipt. If they didn't really have a receipt, then probably the money is kind of like a non-existence. It's a kind of like a something black money. But you shouldn't supposed to be called a kind of like a something black money for 1,000 rupees. No, it's not, because like most of the transaction in small businesses, like 1,000 rupees, 500 rupees was kind of like we don't really ask receipt for that. Like if I went to shopkeeper and I wanted to buy almost like a 200 gram of Colgate, okay, toothbrush or toothpaste, which is cost me almost like a 73 rupees or 78 rupees. Okay, should you kind of like ask for receipt? No, it's not, because it's kind of like a something really daily product. You shouldn't supposed to ask a receipt for that particular thing. Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to tell you is this thing: if you are spending almost like a less than 5,000 rupees, and if you didn't really get kind of like a receipt or something, that it is okay-ish. Okay, yeah, it's okay. But if your transaction is more than 5,000, okay, 5,000 to lakh to crore, and you didn't really ask the receipt, or the shopkeeper didn't really give the receipt, this would be a problem. Yeah, this would be a problem, because as a normal person, okay, how much he could transaction, like basically this thing, like if I wanted to buy a fridge which cost me 10,000, if I wanted to buy AC which cost me 50,000, if I wanted to buy a mobile phone which cost me 1 lakh rupees max to max, okay, if I wanted to buy a gold which cost me almost like equivalent to 1 lakh, okay, then how much money that you spend on some certain product more than 1 lakh, like buying a land, okay, it will cost almost like a 1 cr. If I wanted to buy a permit which cost almost like a 1 cr to 5 cr, okay, then after that, is there kind of like a something like product which are exist? Yeah, like a helicopter and kind of like a something really plane or private plane which is cost more than that. Yeah, but normal people could buy those things? No. So if you have a transaction more than that, you really required a kind of like a existence or proof of that money. Means like that, if you decided to buy a private plane which cost, I'm not really sure, but like a 10 cr or something, 10 20 cr, okay, so which you have a kind of like a something really a proof of that, ki how you get that plane, what kind of like a something really money that give, like a which company that you talk, okay, and how do you get that plane, it's a lot of things, okay. So that's why in before this 2017, most of the people are doing this kind of like a something like black money, okay, like you don't really understand the gravity of the black money, okay. Mostly I refer, or I suggest, or I explain some sort of example which is equivalent so that you could understand, okay. Some of the examples are really worse that probably you have started thinking. Example: most of the billionaire or millionaire, like people who have a lot of money, they gave uh, government party fund a lot. What's a government party fund? A government party, do you realize, like a Congress and BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party and whatever, those are the government parties, okay. And basically the people who are kind of like a something leader of that party, leader of that particular party, required some sort of money, required some sort of fund for campaigning, for poster, for everything, for rally, everything, for every political purpose they required a fund. But how does political party earn money? They are not selling something, they are not selling a kind of like a, no, they are selling a power. What do you mean by that power? Example, okay, so basically I run the company, I am a billionaire, I have a lot of money, okay. My company is a kind of like a something like construction business, all right. So I do construct a lot. I want a kind of like a something like government tender for building this road or building something like that, okay. Because if I get the fuck, ate a bug. I ate a bug. Phew. Ah, phew. Uh, 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 Let me pause. Okay. Okay, now I'm fine. All right. By the way, it's a rainy season and there are a lot of bugs around here. Okay, so that's why I ate a bug. Yeah, it is like basically I am living at some certain area where like let's say there are so many trees and that's why it has a bug. Okay, it felt really weird, but yeah. Okay. So do you get it? What's black money? Okay, these are the black money. Okay, so okay, I was at the party fund. Yeah, so political leader don't really earn money. Okay, so how they spend money on their political campaign? They get money from the billionaire people. Okay, the billionaire friend. Like just an example that I already mentioned that ki if I am kind of like a run a construction company, I want a kind of like a government tender. Okay, but it's like that ki I am not qualified or kind of like a something, there are so many companies are kind of like a something on to that tender. Okay, like a government tender didn't really get that much easily. What's a government tender? Okay, yeah, government tender is a kind of like a something really that ki government gives you money, you have to make kind of like a product for them. Example is that ki like do you see the roads everywhere? Government didn't really make government didn't really make the road by themselves. No, they didn't really have any kind of like a something worker. No, they make they make kind of like a some certain road because of the construction companies. Okay, like basically government gives some certain money to that particular construction company and says that ki we need this kind of like a road of this kind of like a some certain like a quality and stuff like that. Okay, they have a lot of parameter required about that ki what kind of like a road, what kind of like a something quality, do you have a kind of like a particular experience about making that road or something like that. Government has a particular criteria about like a selecting which construction company would they make kind of like a road. Okay, and most of the company are fail into that criteria. Yeah, because like it is lot, it's a kind of like a something really selecting a proper a perfect candidate for the doing this job. Okay, so government selecting a proper company who is kind of like a capable of doing the job. Why does company are really required for this tender? Because of that key, usually when you get the government tender, you will have security to work with the government. Example is that key, yeah, like a construction company get the tender from the private firm as also, but private firm is a kind of like a something a limited period of work. Okay, limited period. Okay, like for almost like a 6 months or 7 months or max 1 year. But if you get the government tender, it will kind of like a last long for almost like a couple of year, 2 3 4 5 year. Okay, as also it's in government, so basically the quality that they ensure that they want some sort of quality, but the ground reality is a kind of like a something like very sucks. Example is that on the paper on that tender they mention that the company should supposed to be experience of this and that and that, but the ground reality, the contractor who are kind of like a something very loose, like they don't really care about that key the public things and stuff like that. They just wants to make kind of like a something road that kind of like a something visible, the quality is so poor and stuff like that. Okay, so so basically this thing, as a company has a lot of profit when they work with the government. Okay, when they work they when they get the government tender. Okay, do you get it? Okay, like lots of profit, almost like a 100% or 200% get the profit. So most of the company are really wants a government tender. Okay, So if I run the kind of like a construction company, I also want that I want to be a government tender. Okay, but because of the criteria I don't really get it. Okay, so it's a kind of like a something like a problem. Okay, like after I get the tender, I have a lot of thing that I could control the quality and stuff like that. But before I get the tender, it's a kind of like a something like very very difficult. Okay, because of that, so I have another way to get that tender. What's the another way? Another way means like that the person, like the which party is actually ruling the country at this moment, BJP. So basically is this thing that ki I run the construction company. So I gave almost like 1,000 crore rupees party fund to the BJP. 1,000 crore rupees to the party fund. Yeah, do I have that money? Yes, like the people who actually have capable of getting the construction tender from the government, they have that kind of like a something really money. Yeah, so basically it's this thing that I have to show my kind of like a something really that I gave you 1,000 crore rupees party fund. In behalf you have to give me the tender. Okay, like forget about the competition and stuff like that. I need this kind of like a tender. So basically it's a deal between happen to the construction company, to the party fund, to the party people which is actually ruling the country. Okay, so they have kind of like a something like connection between us. Okay, connection between us. So basically the people who actually have kind of like a something like authority in the government, they are provided kind of like a something like that you have to give the tender to this company. Because of that that company gave a kind of like a something really fund to our party. Okay, so this is the way that most of the kind of like a something really party people party fund collected. Yeah, main source of this thing. Okay, yeah. So this is called something really black money. Okay, yeah, basically black money means like that. Yeah, like basically 1,000 crore rupees to the party fund, which is like who like 1,000 crore rupees is a too much. बहुत ही ज़्यादा पैसा होता है, बहुत ही ज़्यादा. And you are giving kind of like a something like donation, 1,000 crore rupees of donation. Do you even imagine how much money is this thing? And basically you are giving that kind of like a money in a donation, like basically is this thing, is it kind of like a worthful? It is worthful for that construction company. Okay, but basically is this thing, the party fund money doesn't really have any kind of like a something really existence. That I already mentioned that before 2017. Okay, party fund is actually collected by just cash. That's it, you just have to go to the party officer or party office and give them money. Don't really get the receipt, nothing really at all. The transaction happened completely blindly and completely nothing like the, like basically how is this 1,000 crore rupees came to that particular party, like doesn't really have any existence. Who gave them doesn't really have, like I know I gave them, but like like do you have any proof like that receipt? No, nothing really at all. So this is kind of like a something really a black money. Okay, yeah. There are also another example of black money too, is that ki, like if the traffic havaldar is actually caught you because you don't really have kind of like a license to drive the car, so you gave them almost like 1,000 rupees to kind of like let it go or something like that. So yeah, this kind of like 1,000 money is also called as a black money because it doesn't really have any existence of where it came from. So these are all those black money. Okay, mostly these are the mostly black money are in the form of 1,000 rupees or 500 rupees. Okay, yeah, mostly almost like a 98% of money of black money is in the form of 1,000 rupees or 500 rupees. So government, like a prime minister Modi, decided that what if we kind of like discontinue the 500 rupees and 1,000 rupees. Okay, means like that ki it doesn't really have any values. So when this thing happened, okay, it is like a lot of fucked up thing happened, but their intention was really good. Okay, and because of this notbandi, they actually control lot of kind of like something black money and lot of stuff. Okay, they actually understand where is this black money. Then entire black money came out. Okay, this is something really good step, but the early consequences was really wrong. Yeah, like basically is this saying that the people who actually doing kind of like a something small business, it affect a lot. But basically after almost like a couple of months, then after that it's okay. Yeah, you have to circulate proper amount of money to the people, then okay, it will take time, almost like a 6 month. But yeah, this initiative was really good. So these are kind of like a something really the steps that took kind of like a something by the government, like a prime minister. Okay, like these are kind of like a some sort of steps that prime minister does it. I feel little bit of trustworthy that ki I should supposed to be trust that particular people, that particular person that ruling the country. Okay, there are a lot of things done by the prime minister. Okay, but it's like that ki I shouldn't supposed to be kind of like a judge by kind of like a something like the only the prime minister, only the kind of like a something Narendra Modi is only the person who did it. No, it's not like that. Whoever the person will become the prime minister, who has a responsibility to make things good in the country. Okay, so those people are taking some sort of good decision, because at that time that person is not kind of like a something really a person who is actually at the leader of the party and should supposed to be focused on that ki chalo paisa kamana hai. No. Okay, it's like that ki government has a kind of like the person who is actually have a, holding this particular position, a prime minister position, it has a lot of responsibility too. Okay, and everyone should supposed to be like serve that responsibility with very peacefully and with confidence and with lot of things. Okay, yeah. So do you think it's a trustworthy? I think it's a trustworthy. But you say 50-50%, then what makes it 50% is not trustworthy? Well, there are some certain thing. Okay, like basically things that I already mentioned in the artifact, which is kind of like a happen in publicly. Okay, happen, yeah, in front of public, so that's why. But there are so many things that kind of like a something really very underneath, that I didn't really knew it. I didn't really knew it, or the people didn't really knew it, but the prime minister knew it. Okay, like basically there are very some certain secret thing happened with the prime minister, with lot of companies, with the foreign trades and something like that. Example is that okay, some of the country develop much faster, but some of the countries develop much faster, but India is not developed that much faster. I know that ki we have a lot of problems, but still prime minister has a responsibility to do something really good to the country. But as also he is also kind of like a something really politician, he has to think about his career too. Because like if you become a prime minister, you have kind of like a something like 5 year of do your thing. Okay, after the 5 year you have to kind of like a fight for election. Okay, you also need some certain money and stuff like that. So basically the prime minister do some sort of kind of like a thing which is kind of like a something very crazy, something really that ki uh, the recent example is that the bond, a party fund bond or party fund or SBI fund transfer bond, I'm not really sure. Okay, so in this particular case they have almost like a 3000 crore rupees of scam was kind of like a something happened, and this is actually run by the prime minister Narendra Modi. Okay, yeah. So yeah, basically is this thing like do you trust this, like this person is trustworthy or not? I say I'm 50-50%. Yeah, that's why I say 50-50%. All right. Yeah. Should I continue next? Yeah, no, not it's been almost like a 31 minute. All right, I should supposed to be end here. This is it, and thank you.